You know, it's so funny how they were shilling the Oblivion remake, just a few weeks ago. It was the greatest game of all time. The graphics were so lifelike, they made some smart changes and this, that, and the third. But this woke, soulless DI remake is absolute garbage. And I think the player count is reflective of that because you look at the player count and it has about 37,000 players. But you look at this chart and we follow it in a way that makes sense. And it really is about as low as it can get. It's over. Todd Howard has fumbled the football yet again on a soulless demake of Oblivion. It's over, and it's, believe me, the saddest it's ever been. You take a look at Expedition 33, it currently has 50,000 players. And quite frankly, what that means right now, as of this recording anyway, is that this game right here, Claire Obscure Expedition 33, as you can see, has hit the bottom of the ocean floor. They were touting this to be Game of the Year, but the fall off is unbelievable. Alan Wake 2 is a total disaster from top to bottom. Believe me, I know it's not what you want to hear, but it is what you need to hear. You look at the PC specs, and it essentially requires a NASA computer. A 2060 is only going to get you 1080p low settings. Mind you, that's with DLSS turned on. Every mode requires DLSS. Okay, you're not getting a true 1080p image with that turned on. There is no console gameplay as of this recording. We just don't know how this runs or performs in those regards. You look at the state of the industry, it's going all digital, and Alan Wake 2 is helping usher that in. And if you do support this game, you are one of the reasons why this industry is in the shape that it's in. You look at the gameplay, it's nothing but a walking simulator, an RTX tech demo that's trying to usher in the current form of style presentation over substance. The writing looks pretentious. It's littered with woke themes. This is a game that's well past its prime. The ship has sailed on an Alan Wake sequel many, many years ago.
It's time for that unmitigated reality check because the writing is on the wall, the proof is in the pudding. Horizon Forbidden West is nothing but shit on the bottom of my shoe, and that's not really a surprise because the first game was a total snooze fest. It brought nothing new to the table. But when you look at Horizon Forbidden West here, it's quite clear that the lazy millennial devs over at Guerrilla have fumbled that football. The last Horizon game came out in 2017, which was, I believe, 5 years ago. And you mean to tell me that they couldn't have had a new animation here in Horizon Forbidden West? Instead, as you can see, it's the exact same copy and paste. Now, when Madden does this, and mind you, Madden comes out on a yearly basis, but when Madden does this, you angry gamers, you hate gamers, you get the pitchforks out. But you don't do that for Sony, you don't do that for Horizon Forbidden West because you're biased.
It's not healthy to lie. It's not healthy to be a part of the losers club. And that's why I'm here. I'm here, again, trying to help you Snowy fanboys. Because as we look here at Ghost of Yonshima, and again, we will do so in a moment, you will see that it is very apparent that the cracks are indeed starting to show. This isn't a joke. This isn't a comedy tour. This isn't, oh, Michael, you ain't nothing but a clown. No, this is the reality of the situation. And believe me, I wanted Ghost of Yonshima to bring something new to the table. I wanted Ghost of Yonshima to really hit that home run. But unfortunately, it didn't. It didn't.
School them all. Especially the kid CEO of the smiley face.
You see what From Software did is they shot themselves in the foot, and now they're stuck between a rock and a hard place. And as such, they are scrambling. They are in shambles in terms of finding their way out of that predicament. Because ultimately, what From Software did is they overexposed Elden Ring. Elden Ring releases in February, but why would I want to go out and buy the game when I can watch a gist of it on YouTube? There are dozens and dozens and dozens of videos of Elden Ring already, thanks to the technical test, and as such, they have demystified Elden Ring. You Sony fanboys, you need to apologize to world-class veteran video game critic MichaelDoesLife, because you see, you were wrong. You were wrong. And as usual, I was right. I was right. The PlayStation 5, a huge, colossal failure. I mean, that design is terrible. But more importantly, an all-digital edition? Didn't you Sony fanboys give Xbox flack for doing that just about a year or so ago? But now since Sony does it, oh, it's perfect, Michael. Makes a lot of sense, and it's optional. You Sony fanboys, you need a reality check, and I hope you consider calling Dr. Phil, because believe me, you need therapy.
Dunvo DRM, right here in the Callisto Protocol on PC. DLC animations, DLC difficulty, DLC game mode, all right here in the Callisto Protocol Season Pass. Review embargo until release day. No reviews until the release of the Callisto Protocol on December 2nd. Long cutscenes, low enemy variety, forced melee combat, only 4 guns supposedly here in the Callisto Protocol, and last but not least, for a $70 experience around 12 hours long. Do not buy the Callisto Protocol.
Imagine consuming back for money. The entire situation is so incredibly sad. But you Zoomers are going to love spending money on this slop right here. I mean, this is a game that has PS3 graphics. This is a game that's always online. This is a game that looks generic as hell. And yet there you are, day one, to consume this slop. Now luckily, since world-class veteran video game critic MichaelDoesLife has his thinking cap on, I got Xbox, okay? And as such, I don't have to spend any real money here on Back for Money, as it's included with Game Pass. But for you Snowy fanboys, you're gonna line up to consume that slop and plop down your hard-earned money. And bullshit like this is why this industry is in the shitter. Imagine being excited about Cyberpunk 2077. You know, you listen to these shills here on this platform that are in their damn Cyberpunk 2077 chair. Can you really take their words seriously when they're in bed in cahoots with CD Projekt Red? The answer quite clearly should be no. And when you really look at the meat and potatoes of what CD Projekt Red is offering here with Cyberpunk 2077, it's quite clear that this game needs more time in the oven. Get a job and get a life. And realize that the lazy millennial devs over at CD Projekt Red didn't hit that home run.
The upcoming Resident Evil 4 remake features a tragic new detail. And as you see this play out, it's a detail that should not have been in the Resident Evil 4 remake. In the original game, the dog stuck in the bear trap could be helped by Leon S. Kennedy. In the remake, however, check this out. This is what the lazy millennial devs over at Clueless Capcom have done. The dog is already dead. Are you fucking serious, Capcom? This is trash!
Imagine buying a PlayStation 5. They have absolutely nothing to show for. When is it time to wake up and smell that coffee? Hopefully it's sooner rather than later for you Sony fanboys. It is really time to ultimately, as someone who has a PlayStation 4 right there, it is ultimately time to make PlayStation great again.
But here's the reality of the situation, folks. As of this recording, and I know Dying Light 2 doesn't release until early February, but as of right now, there is zero footage of Dying Light 2 running on base PS4 and base Xbox One. Hell, I don't even know if we have seen Dying Light 2 running on current-gen consoles, meaning PS5 and Xbox Series X. I think the only footage that exists of Dying Light 2 is Dying Light 2 running on a high-end PC rig. If that's not a red flag, then I don't know what is.
It's over, fake Star Wars fans. When are you going to wake up and realize that this franchise is 6 feet under? When are you going to wake up and realize that Star Wars Jedi Survivor brings nothing new to the table? And to make matters worse, Star Wars Jedi Survivor requires a content download, meaning if you go out and buy the physical copy of Star Wars Jedi Survivor, you need internet in order to play it, because the lazy millennial devs over at Respawn quite clearly just weren't interested in including 2 Blu-ray discs.
Really? You think Halo Infinite is next gen?
Battlefield 2042 is literally more detailed than Halo Snooze Fest, okay?
Everyone was touting that the PlayStation 4 was the best thing since sliced bread. Well, let me tell you something. You can't even play audio CDs in this thing, and if I put a USB flash drive in one of those USB ports, it doesn't even detect that the damn thing is inserted into the USB port. Really, Sony? You sold me a $400 console. What am I supposed to do? Just sit here and play video games?
Why?
Spider-Man 2 PS5 is a total disaster. This is a game from the early 2000s on primitive hardware, and yet the web-swinging mechanics here in Spider-Man 2, the superior Spider-Man 2, are much better than Spider-Man 2 PS5.
I was right about the web swinging, folks. I told you guys that this was going to happen. Folks, let me show you this. The web's literally attached to skies here in this game. So how can you sit there and say that they got the web swinging right? How can you sit there and say that this is the best web swinging ever in a Spider-Man game when they have webs attached to the skies? Make sure your Windows PC is Rift ready. You need a PC that is powerful enough to handle the Oculus Rift. So you're looking at probably $1,000 just to buy a fucking computer that can be compatible and capable of handling the Oculus Rift. Then you gotta buy this for $600. $1,600 for the fucking operation to get this up and going. And listen, folks, I've used the Oculus Rift before, and I'm gonna fucking share some news that might burst your bubble. Here I was at the Chicago Comic and Entertainment Expo for the Insidious Chapter 3 Haunted House. It was a little haunted house to promote the fucking movie. And this was just before they put the Oculus Rift on my head. And when they put the fucking Oculus Rift on my head, I gotta be honest with you guys, it was a very, very underwhelming experience. And the reason why it was a very, very underwhelming experience was because the viewfinder in this fucking thing is low resolution. It took me out of what I was trying to fucking immerse myself in, and the technology just is not there yet. And for $600, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Actually, excuse me, $1,600. Unbelievable.
Nintendo has created, whether they like it or not, another Wii U, and it's a total disaster. We have right here Cyberpunk 2077 on the Nintendo Switch 2. World Class has to come in and dissect this slop. By the way, terrible game, can't recommend it. And we also have this console right here, the Nintendo Switch 2, which quite frankly is a do not buy from my perspective. But you gamers love consuming anything, believe me, that's brand new and shiny. You see the sign out front, and as long as they tell you it's fantastic, you don't care about the quality of the food, you are there to do one thing and one thing only, and that's consume. Kingdom Come 2 is a total disgrace to actual RPG fans. It's a total disgrace to fans of the first game, and it's a game, quite frankly, that has a disgusting shill campaign where everyone and their grandma is telling you how amazing it is 1 month prior to release. You have to understand that there's nothing else out there to play. So you're going to sit there and nitpick what brought gaming to that next level? These Grand Theft Auto games, these classic 3 games. It's so sad that you have no life, and it's so sad that you want to sit there and perpetuate this idea that Rockstar's the worst in the world and they're not listening to their fan base. I mean, if they were to listen to you simpletons, they'd be out of business.
I'm here today, since y'all are so retarded, to prove to you that Fallout 76 isn't as bad as the internet would make it out to be.
What in the shit do you see that is so wrong about this? Like what do you see here as I'm playing this game Fallout 76 on my PS4? What do you see that makes this game so apparently just awful? Because I'm not seeing anything here. Of course, I've only put about 15 or so minutes into this game here,